Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nugroho Darmawan and my friend here is Rizky Dwi Cahyo. And in this video we will learn about academic listening TOEFL IBT. And for the first, this is the main idea. The main idea of TOEFL IBT. Every listening sample will begin in the same way with a main ID question. This question asks you to identify the main point of the lecture of conversation. They usually take one of the following form. Why does the professor ask the students? What's the problem the students have? What is the main idea of lecture has? And what is the subject of professor mainly discussion? When you see this kind of question, remember that you should only be concerned with the main idea of the passage. Supporting ideas, example, and the counter example will not be correct answer. Just because an answer choice is true doesn't mean that is the correct answer. It must be the most important of all the correct answer choice. And the second is about detail. Detailed questions are probably the most straightforward of all listening question types. They will ask you to remember specific facts about the lecture or conversation. Detailed question will always ask about an important conceptual detail. You will not be expected to memorize trivial detail, such as whether something happened in 1977 or 1978. You will likely need your notes to help you answer to detailed question. Remember to take down important facts you will listen. Example and support for the main idea are often the subject of detailed question. You will not be asked questions about the minor details. Make sure not to pick an answer choice just because you heard a word from lecture. It is common to find these words in the incorrect choice. And this is the example of detailed question. Like the first is, according to the professor, what is the problem with, or what does the student say about, or what cause. And the next about TOEFL IBT of listening is implication. Implication means conveying what speakers mean linguistically, and is commonly used in spoken language, identifying its possible interpretation and discovering in the implied meaning of the information. Nevertheless, are really challenging for non-native English speaker, especially for ESL or EFL. Test takers who are under testing pressure. The finding revealed that linking words are the most common linguistic unit, while sight, praise are the at least common ones that are used to trigger implicator in the listening section of TOEFL IBT materials. Additionally, the first implicator of linguistic units used in the listening section of TOEFL IBT are uncovered. And the next thing about listening IBT is connection, a relationship between ideas. Connection content question asks you to show understand of the relationship among the ideas in a lecture. What is likely outcome? This type of question will ask you to put together information from the different sentences or different parts of the conversation or lecture. It can be mentioned to identify things like step in a process or cause or effect relationship. The connection content question is like steps in a process, cause or effect, classification, and even make a prediction.
The next is information of organization. You can recognize organization question because they often include phrases such as, why does the professor mention? Why does the professor discuss? The signal words that indicate the introduction, major idea, example, and the conclusion or summary. This might be sequence words like first, next, and then. Or they might indicate time or a chronology, like before, during, and since. Or they could show cause and effect, like accordingly or as a result. The next is speaker's objective. Understanding the speaker's attitude question, the second type of pragmatic understanding question test. whether you understand a speaker's attitude or opinion. You may be asked a question about the speaker's feeling, likes and dislikes, or reason for anxiety or amusement. Tip for understanding the speaker attitude question: learn to pay attention to the speaker's tone voice. Does the speaker sound apologetic, confused, enthusiastic? And the speaker's tone can help you answer this kind of question. And the next is the tips to develop this skill. First, think about what each speaker hopes to accomplish. What is the purpose of the speech or conversation? Second, learn to pay attention to the speaker's tone of voice. Is the language formal or casual? Is the speaker voice calm or emotional? And the third is notice the speaker degree of certainty. How sure is the speaker about the information? Does the speaker's tone of voice indicate something about his or her degree of certainty? And the last is pay attention to the way stress and intonation pattern are used to convey meaning. Replay segments multiple times, listening for shades of meaning. This will help you understand a speaker's point of view. Review material. Review in here means that taking all important points and details you listen in listening section, then write down the points you took in a paper. It has function to show us understanding of the meaning of something when it is not directly stated in the lecture conversation. It can also put a question, for example, what are the implications of? What does the professor imply? And what can be inferred? Tips or strategy to face-to-face listening. Short conversation between two people. Each of will end with one question that you must answer in the correct answer choices A, B, C, D. This part consists of 30 questions. Focus on the second speakers. Don't panic over word for word. Just grasp the idea or content of the conversation. If you absolutely cannot understand what the second speaker is saying, choose the answer that is the most different and what has been heard. Two longer conversation between two people. The second part consists of two longer conversation between two people, and its conversation is followed by several questions. Generally, the part in part B consists of 7 to 8 questions. Beware of individual questions. When listening to the conversation, you must understand the theme or the topic being discussed. Pay attention to the situation and condition that occur during the conversation, usually regarding the place, time, what, and who is being discussed. 3. Long speech talk and only involve one person or monologue. This last section consists of 3 speech or talk and only involve one person or called monologue. If you have a lot of time, find keyword that answer choices listed and question sheet. Focus on talking on the first sentences because that will usually be the topic for the next sentence. Beware of matters relating to 5W18. Focus your hearing. Draw conclusion on the situation that occurred during the conversation. That's all. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.